I think as kids we all dreamt of starting our own F1 team. Or maybe it was just me, but in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how much money does it take to start your own Formula 1 team. Let's get something out of the way first. There can be more than 10 teams in Formula 1. I believe some of the newer fans might think that the number of teams in Formula 1 is kept to 10. And that's actually not true. There can be up to 13. So if you're serious about starting your own F1 team, you could. So let's get down to business. There's actually two ways to start your Formula 1 team. The first one is to buy an already existing team. This is the more common way as it's less expensive. For example, back in 2020, Lawrence Stroll agreed a £182 million deal to buy into Racing Point and Aston Martin. But that is the boring way. The more interesting way is to build your own team. The last time someone did it this way was in 1993, and the person doing it was called Peter Sauber. The first expense you will have is to pay $200 million to the other teams. Yes, to the other teams. In 2020, the 10 already existing teams signed the Sports New Concord agreement, which includes this small fee. McLaren boss Zach Brown says the massive barrier to entry would not only protect the teams but also deter any half-serious efforts of trying to get into F1. Let's say that money is not a problem, and now you have the rights to start your cars at the first Grand Prix of the season. The only problem with that is that you don't have a car, drivers or other employees. So let's fix these issues. First of all, you need a facility. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you still need a warehouse filled with computers, desks, chairs, tables and other good stuff. Let's say that these will set you back around $4 or $5 million. You will also need a wind tunnel, and that is expensive. It costs you around $20 million to build one, and after that you would still need to buy the workbenches, 3D printers and all the other essential equipments. Let's say that the other machinery will set you back around $5 million. You will also need carbon and other stuff to build a car. I'm not going to calculate it piece by piece, so let's just say that an F1 car costs around $12 million. And you will need 2 of them, so that will set you back around $24 million. Now that we have a car and a warehouse filled with all the equipment we need, and we haven't even spent over $300 million yet, I think we should continue by hiring some employees. There's no rule about how many employees you need to run a Formula 1 team. For example, Red Bull has over 12,000 people working for their team, just like Mercedes. But on the other hand, the Haas F1 team reportedly only has 200 people working on the car. So with that being said, let's just say we have around 2,000 employees. Back in 2017, Toro Rosso spent over $40 million on staff, not including the drivers. And guess how many people they had working on the car? Only 500. So if we would have to pay 2,000 employees, that would cost around $160 million yearly. Now that we have a car, employees and a facility, we will need some drivers. On average, an F1 driver makes around $10 million, and we need 2 of them, so that would set us back around $20 million. After all these, you would also need to pay around $30 million annually for maintenance, travel, repair, team clothing, tires, and the list goes on and on. And that's all you need to start a Formula 1 team. And the number we've all been waiting for? To start a Formula 1 team, you will need around $450 million.